The 2020 Aftermarket News Year in Review is presented by Goodyear Belts. To learn more about Goodyear's new line of automotive and industrial belts, visit GoodyearBelts.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Antonora along with Josh Cable, and all week long we've been counting down the year's most popular stories on aftermarketnews.com.
That's right, and in our final segment we're counting down the top 10 news stories of 2020. There wasn't much news this year, was there, Amy?
Not at all.
I didn't think so. But seriously, 2020 was anything but a slow news year. So let's dive into the top 10 news stories of 2020.
Okay. Number 10 is Bosch and Mercedes-Benz start San Jose, California pilot project for automated ride-hailing service. This is an article from December 2019 that still got a lot of page views in 2020. And we know that automated driving is one of the major storylines in this industry that I'm sure will continue to pique people's interest as the technology progresses.
Indeed. Number 9 is NTB to sell 112 locations to Mavis Discount Tire. The 112 stores are located in the greater Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, and Chicago markets.
Number 8 is Hyliion Inc. and Tortoise Acquisition Corp. Announce merger. Upon the closing of the transaction, the combined entity will be named Hyliion Holdings Corp. And will remain on the New York Stock Exchange under the new ticker symbol HYLN.
Number 7 is Has Cash for Clunkers returned? In June, the Automotive Service Association asked repair shops to write their U.S. representatives and senators, urging them to oppose a Cash for Clunkers program in the next phase of COVID-19 stimulus legislation.
Number 6 is First Brands Group, formerly TRICO Group, makes 2 acquisitions. In July, First Brands Group announced its acquisitions of Brake Parts Inc. and Champion Laboratories Inc.
Now that we're halfway through our list, we'd like to take a moment to thank our friends at Goodyear Belts for sponsoring the 2020 AMN Year in Review.
To learn more about Goodyear's new line of automotive and industrial belts, visit GoodyearBelts.com. And now, back to the list.
Number 5 is National Pronto Association Automotive Distribution Network announce merger. The combined organization will represent more than 250 members in North America with an estimated annual revenue of approximately $5 billion.
Number 4 is Chicago passes new electric vehicle ordinance. In April, Chicago's City Council passed an ordinance that opens the door to cost-effective expansion of charging equipment in residential and commercial buildings.
We're down to the top 3 news stories of 2020. Number 3 is Shell Lubricants acquires American Chemical Technologies. As we mentioned in some of the other videos this week, M&A stories always tend to get a lot of attention from AMN readers.
Number 2 is Virginia Governor signs Vehicle Safety Inspection Program legislation. In April, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam signed a bill that included the state's periodic motor vehicle safety inspection program, despite unveiling plans to eliminate the program earlier in the year.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our top news story of 2020. And when you think about everything that's transpired this year in our world and our economy, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the top news story of 2020 is related to the pandemic. Our number 1 news story of 2020 is House of Representatives passes 5th stimulus package. This was back in May when the Democrat-controlled House passed the first iteration of the HEROES Act, a $3 trillion COVID relief bill that came on the heels of the CARES Act and other stimulus packages. This one hasn't fared as well as the others, though.
So there you have it. That's a wrap for our Year in Review series, and that's about all she wrote for 2020. We wish all of you a safe and happy New Year and a prosperous 2021.